Hi everyone, welcome in. I'm assuming I'm live, just checking everything. Thank you for joining me. Today we're doing a grid activation with the Sphinxes in Egypt. Not just the Sphinx you see in stone, but the crystalline Sphinx and the guardian of the crystalline halls of record, of time and record, of memory here on Earth within the crystalline grid. So if you're new here, I'm Leanna. I've been doing a grid work journey with the Sophia crystalline grid to anchor in the bridge harmonic, which I call the tree of return. It braids into how we understand mythically the tree of life, but it helps harmonize the grid, the planetary network between the different types of grids that hold the energies of our Earth, time, record, memory together and the flow. So the tree of return is specifically helping in anchoring in the higher dimensional, higher frequency activations in the planetary network through the heart-womb axis of the Earth. And I did an activation of the primary bridge harmonic through the United States that bridges east to west, west to east. And then some other activations that help with the gateway or the entry point for the heart-womb axis of the Earth in the UK, in Turkey, and Egypt, and as well as the Magdalene codes, which were all over the grid, but the codes of the lifeblood, the flow and movement and life force of the grid. Now, most recently, which I haven't updated you on, is I did an activation through Iceland at the coast of the Carolinas during the Samhain festival. So October 31st and November 1st, I did an activation the night of October 31st and the morning of November 1st. And it was very beautiful. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. Just briefly, I shared more on my Instagram, but for that activation the night before, I did gridding, crystalline gridding with fluorite, with hematite quartz or fire quartz, you might hear it called, and septarian dragon stone. And that helped open the field and prime the field for the southern flame to meet the north wind in Iceland and to move through the currents. And then the next morning I did the fuller activation through the currents of Iceland, which also flowed through the coasts of Africa, up through Europe to Denmark and the Netherlands. Oh, I forgot, and the UK. So it flowed down the UK to Africa, back up through Netherlands and Denmark, back to Iceland. And the southern flame was moving through Peru, Argentina, and Brazil, up through the water, helping to be carried by Hurricane Melissa a little bit, and then anchored in through the equator. I saw the equator light up with rainbow light. And I heard when I was working on the continent of Africa, the Mother Awakens, alluding to the ancestral memory of all lineages activating and awakening. And there's more on that on my Instagram. Maybe I'll share a post later on YouTube in the community sections. Now, I've been writing a lot on Substack. I'm not going to go into that, but if you're interested in some of that, I've been sharing that in my post. So today, how did I get called to work on the Sphinxes, the Twin Sphinxes? And I do have my chat up, but I'm not looking at it. I do have my chat up, but I'm not looking at it consistently. So I knew that there was going to be some activation again around Egypt around November 11th for a while. And I had been feeling sort of the echoes of, oh, I was supposed to be there around this time for a couple months. Financially, I cannot go to Egypt, so I'm not in Egypt. And I've been taking the grid work journey one step at a time. So I feel what's coming next. Some of the things I've gotten called to a lot earlier. Okay, am I back on the same stream? I'm not sure. Let me know. Okay, I'm gonna assume I'm back on the same stream. If I'm not, because last time I had that happen where it started a new stream, but otherwise I will always repost the recording. So, I was saying I have been taking one step of the grid working journey at a time to look into the specifics. And I guess I waited a little too long to check in what was going to be needed for Egypt. And this week, Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember what day, I woke up with my right hand hurting right here. And that's not, it is sort of unusual after I worked on some health things, but I did break my wrist a long time ago that didn't heal correctly. And so I did have autoimmune conditions that made the pain in that area flare up frequently. But after I worked on my health conditions, that sort of went away. And this area of my hand, energetically, I've seen, has been used to prevent me from carrying too much, from trying to do too much myself. And so sometimes it flares up symbolically in that way. And so I was meditating and checking in, asking my hand, what is the root cause of why you're hurting this morning? And I got taken to the paw of the crystalline Sphinx, the second Sphinx, the one that you don't see. And she was calling me to remind me to do this activation today. And and when I saw her, I got very emotional because I felt like I'd let her down. If you don't know, I have a very strong, through my oversoul and through my soul lineage, very strong connection to Egypt, very strong connection to the pyramids, very strong connection to the Sphinx as well. I've visited them many times astrally to reclaim energy that I had left there previously in other lives. And so I felt like I had let her down by not being there. And also, if this is your first video with me, I get weepy a lot. Sometimes it can be soul emotions, but it's a lot of times connecting to energies and how they're coming through is I'll get a little weepy. So I felt like I'd let her down by not being there. But you don't have to physically be there in order to do the grid work, and you can still do it remotely. This morning I was already doing some work, opening and doing some connections to the crystalline halls of time and record, so that you all, if you're doing this journey with me, can sort of step in and access what is needed to be accessed. And I do have an incense burning, so if you see smoke, that's what it is. Before every activation, I ask if any crystals or mineral supporters want to join. And this morning it was immediately a Lemurian seed crystal, which just popped into my head, which is sort of a crystalline hall of memory, of time and record itself. And And this particular crystal has connected me to memories in Egypt, purpurite, and then my bloodstone that I always have for the tree of return. I also have a water with black salt in it to connect me to Egypt. So these are the frequencies that are holding the space for you today. And the energies, frequencies as guides for you, for those doing this activation that were coming in, are peregrine falcons, which in my memories are associated with the Isis. So Isis to me has been many people as almost a title, a priestess, a head lineage, on different timelines and at different times. And peregrine falcon, the Syrian being who came through for Isis, was able to shapeshift into peregrine falcons. And then cats, felines, which can also be a little bit of Isis energy, but this time it's coming through as Bastet, the one of Bastet that I work with, who was a student and energetically a daughter of Isis and keeper of the womb and crystalline memory and crystalline structures and tunnels underneath Egypt, spanning up to the Mediterranean and Europe, as well as a little bit of Artemis frequency as well. So you may feel those energies or see them as a guide coming through during this activation. I do work with Thoth to help anchor and stabilize the field and energy, and to help bring down the activations that are needed, as well as who you may, I know some people consider them the same, who you may feel or consider as Hermes, they're different to me, or a Chronos energy. So Chronos, not the Titan, Chronos as in a time keeper, which, okay, I won't get into that. It's not the same. There's different root words associated with that, and they got merged together. Okay. So we can go ahead and get started with the journey. If you're ready, I will be pulling through the frequencies of Anaya, the lost mother, through my temple of being, and connecting to the frequencies of the Sphinx. I'm sorry if you hear dogs barking or planes going by. I was hoping there would be less planes this morning because of all the issues with travel right now, but there have still been some of those going on. So I'm just going to connect in. So you can start by focusing in on your own breath. We will journey to the crystalline halls of time and record. So focusing in on your breath, breathing in through the feet, aligning with your energies through the body, And as you breathe, feeling the heart womb energy, a golden red light moving up through the earth, spiraling towards your feet, and welcoming you back into her waters, into her life, and her breath, and her being. And as that spiral meets your feet, you inhale up through the soles of your feet. And this life force joins with your life force. Sorry about that. It moves up through to your womb as you continue to breathe. Meeting you in your hips at your root, activating the red of your root and moving upwards. Through to your sacral and up through your solar plexus, spinning and looping and moving to your heart field. As it meets your heart, your flame in this area begins to grow larger and larger, surrounding your whole being. And as it moves upward through your throat, clearing any stagnation in your throat, up through your third eye, and up through your crown. You're surrounded by your own inner light, your own flame, clearing away all distortion and everything that's not meant to be in your field. And as that surrounds you, Thoth, the one at the heart, is sending down radiant light from the heart of the all. You may see a rainbow or a higher heart energy of green sapphire and silver light, moving down through the sun, through the moon, and meeting you where you are sitting, standing. And it surrounds you in a 9-pointed star, holding you in divine connection of the One, in completion, coherence, and radiance. Only what is allowed in your field, aligned with your heart, your truth, your sacredness of being, can enter your field today. Only what your higher self and higher wisdom sees as aligned with your truth. And as you relax deeply, surrounded by your flame, surrounded by the energy of the One, all life, all time, you breathe deeply into your heart, moving your awareness and presence down to your heart. And as you enter into your heart space, your awareness shifts to a crystalline path illuminating in front of you, an arrow pointing you through, showing you the light. And as you step on that path, you begin to walk. And as you begin to walk, you may see felines guiding you, a falcon soaring in the air. And as you gently begin to walk, you notice the ground beneath you begins to move through to black sand. But the black sand has specks, flakes of all colors. Crystalline mica, quartz that radiates all colors through. And as you keep walking, you're led to the Sphinx in stone, the one you know. And as you arrive at the Sphinx in stone, you notice a gateway between its paws, a doorway leading down to tunnels, crystalline tunnels of time and memory. And just focusing on my voice as you move through. I'm focusing in on if I should move, and my guidance is not to move, so we will stay here. If you can focus in on my voice, do that. If the noise is bothering you, you can tune in and continue your journey in resonance as I continue without listening to the field. But as you move through the gates of the Sphinx in stone, you will be walking through the crystalline halls, leading down through the earth, leading southward down. And you gently walk through the crystalline halls, seeing memories of those who have walked before you, feeling that you have been there before. And you continue gently walking until you get to a crystalline door radiating all colors of light. And carved on this door are hieroglyphs, are records of time and memory. And you see the light radiate out from this door, shining and inviting you to enter. And as you open the door, you enter into a massive black hall of stone, of obsidian. And in this hall stands this crystalline Sphinx, and the guardian of the halls of time and record. She is a moving, living, intelligent being, waiting for your return. Held here throughout time, waiting to rise again. She may engage with you, she may speak with you. You can ask her why you're here. What are you here to retrieve, to see, to restore for yourself and for all? And she will show you what is yours to know, to see, here now. And as you retrieve it, we are going to sing to her soul to activate her full being, her full connection to the Sphinx in stone, to amplify the memory through the crystalline grid, the records. Aino kaire onore he alo le mada he alo ete oshta. Amakure alo mare he alo reya. Anane anone ahokure te luru amahaelo. Eke ala kalorura he aloru. Ene hene hanole akusta ale. Amare he ale ako. Ke ala mare aroha. Anore akuru halu akelo ra anore aloru hare amadero hare alohe amaro. Arokuruam, 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 hai. If she allows, you can place your hand near her heart. And as you do, she breathes into your field. She breathes into the temple she is surrounded by, and it begins to light up. And you notice that the stone is not just black, but that crystalline light moves through it like water, silvery blue light, lighting up in different shapes, different geometries, activating the motherboard of the Hall of Record. And as this lights up, she roars up towards the sky. Activating the motherboard fully as it shoots towards the sun, towards Orion, and through the cosmos. Lighting up the whole Giza Plateau. With crystalline light. Moving through the earth, the equatorial axis, and out through the grid. the priestesses of this hall, Isis, Bastet, Hathor, the others who have kept it in secret, in song, move through into you, offering you a bowl of water to place your hands in, to discharge any energies and then they place the bowl down and they offer you the breath of the One, if you wish to accept it. The goddess, the priestess in front of you, places her right hand on your heart. As you place your hand on her heart, and she meets you at your forehead and breathes with you. As you breathe, her breath to your heart, your breath to her heart, the breath of the One within you activates. The song of your lineage, the song of your future, and the song of your present. And as you breathe, it anchors in the connection through the grid to your own record of time, of memory, of place, of essence, of being. And it moves through the womb waters, restoring your breath to the heart of the earth and the heart of the One. You may ask your guide or the Sphinx where she rests now. Any remaining questions, any remaining guidance they wish you to know. We all thank you for returning to this field, to this network, to the Mother and to the One. And as you look down, you see your own presence, your own body is more crystalline, radiating with the light. And you move to walk back through the tunnels. And as you move, the Sphinx joins you, stands beside you. And as you walk, she walks with you back up through to the Sphinx of stone. Where she meets his heart. In union, bridging the duality to oneness once more. And as you continue walking, you see the stone begins to glow a little differently, a little more fully. And as you journey, you see your crystalline path once more, leading you back to your heart. And as you move back through your heart space, you see the light swirling around you, the light of the one, your 9-pointed star, the light of your flame. And you breathe into this, allowing what is meant for you to move through your field. Moving it through all areas. And releasing all that is not aligned with you. Restoring all the energy, all the essence, all the being that is meant for you now into the body as you breathe. You may feel emotions that you can't explain. You may feel knowings that you don't know where they came from. Over the next few days, you may feel a new restoration of self. If you allow it to be, allow it to come through. Move it through the body to the heart and back through the body. And breathing more. You see the light around you gently swirl, touching all of your energy centers, letting them know they're done receiving now. As the 9-pointed star recedes and your flame moves closely around your body, sealing your energy, in coherence. And you begin to move your fingers and your toes, breathing deeply, rejoining the space around you, and opening your eyes. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that activation. And if you couldn't bear with the noise, that's okay. I can try to de-noise it later. But it was still very powerful, for me at least, and what was needed was completed. If you did stick with it, I'd love to hear what you experienced. I don't know what's next after this. I'm going to reflect on that because I had a lot. That was probably the most energy I've moved through at one time in a while. And held for you all. So we'll see after I reflect what else comes through for me. And what's next, as far as I know, would be activation in Argentina. But there's something else. I can feel it right now as I say that. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to actually be in Argentina, but I'll make it through as far south as I can be. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna need to go and reflect on that one. If you enjoyed this activation, it's never required, but there is a link to show a little bit of gratitude on my Ko-Fi page, or you can check out any of my services online and other ways to support the journey. I appreciate you all being here, and I'll see you next time.